So 1992-93 in Kaduna, a riot broke out which they call the Zango Kataf riot. I was a young boy, very, very young then. And people were killed in scores. If you are not an Afsa person practicing Muslim in Islam, they were killed. Especially if you are from the southern part of Kaduna, the tribes from the southern part of Kaduna, they were massacred. It was called the Zango Kataf riot. And if the next thing they do is to burn churches, kill Christians, and then if they are done with that, then they focus on businesses that is for Igbo people, Igbo-owned businesses, and they destroyed it. I grew up knowing that Christians are an endangered species in Nigeria.
Is there a Christian genocide in Plateau State?
You know, it's unfortunate that that authorities have allowed what has been happening on the plateau to now have a religious coronation, because this has been killings that started many years ago.
Is it a Christian genocide, though?
Absolutely, because who are the majority there? Who are the majority there? Who are the people that have been killed?
If my government is denying genocide, what will they say about this? United Nations, European Union,
had said that every time they apprehended terrorists, they found foreign currencies with them. Who are the people funding them?
Exactly.
There's foreign intervention or interference. Why are we not talking about that? So let's celebrate all these things, but we know the real issues. Until we tackle the real issues and have the political will to cut off the head of the big wigs, we're not going anywhere. So let us be very honest about this.
We don't have leaders that think of the interests of Nigeria. Pure and simple.
The Chinese
it's just
have
the interest of their own pockets.
They do. They cannot.
You are all welcome, brothers. Today we are going to look at something very important. You see, it's no longer news whether there is Christian genocide in Nigeria. These past few weeks we've talked about this. Since the day Donald Trump got up and said enough is enough of this nonsense of killing of Christians in Nigeria. Many people are coming up to say so many things in order to defend their own fault. Some got up to say that Donald Trump is coming to Nigeria in order for him to gain this or to gain that. But all these are nonsense. Donald Trump did not say he's coming to Nigeria to fight or to invade Nigeria. He said he's coming to see how he can end the activity of terrorists so that killing of Christians in Nigeria should become a thing of the past. So I want you today to take a look at this video, so that in this video you learn the true stand of the nation Nigeria. Is there genocide? Is it true? Watch this video.
If my government is denying genocide, what will they say about this? United Nations, European Union, take note, this is the genocide of people that were killed on the fateful day of 7 March 2010, massacre at Dogona Hawa Plateau State. Names of big victims that were killed. Machineries were brought from Niger Republic, they were brought from Chad, they were brought from Burkina Faso, Senegal. They were hired into the nation. They mix up with those from Maiduguri. There's a Muslim state. Also from Gombe, Muslim state. In fact, they trooped into this place, Bauchi. This is the route that they took. By about midnight, they invaded this village. We are living peacefully in this Dogona Hawa. These are the victims of massacre. Therefore, Petrus, Chuan Petrus, John Nash, Ren, Goyin Dantuma, all they are under the grave. Karos, Nash, Lydia E. Danchuma. See the name. 100 is moving to 66. Ended by Israel Simon, Lydia Bulus Chuang, Dalabi Tung. And look at this place too. Dadung, Dagongdung, Justina Gyang, Sani, Pam, Victor Pam. To summarize, to go down to 126, ranked up with Ngoti Tigwa. He moved also to 127. Dan Juma Gov, Victoria Zhang, Tess Crooks. You have been looking for facts, look at facts. To prove that Nigerian government are biggest liar. If they taught them, they would say Muslims are also killed. By who? By Muslim terrorists. After they have eliminated Christians from Katsina, from Zamfara, from Borno, what next? Then the Christians that escaped from the far north, Sokoto, they were able to locate and come back to Plateau State. Because, and they moved down to the south. They escaped their life. Now, the rural villages of Sokoto, Muslim state, Katsina, Muslim state. If you find a Christian, it's in the town, the city, headquarters of the state. That's where there's security. But in the villages, Boko Haram are taking over the villages. Once you're a Christian, you can only be a Christian by serving them as slaves in the local government. Look at what has happened to 189. Look at this monument. It's a memory for what is happening. Chuan S. Dung Kyang boat moving down to 252 people. Joseph Johanna. Now let's go back to see the other side of the monument. It continued from 250 Zongduzi Chuandi Jik Dagyang Pam Tang Kombo Gyang Tang. It moved down to 315. That is Nerat John. Move again to 316. Priest John Ezekiel Pam. It moved down again to 378. That's Paula Joseph Nyam. Sure. It shift again from the top. Dadungyam Wendavo. It moved down to 401 and 41. Dagon Elia was among them this. Mandung Christopher, that's 402. Garba Danjuma, it moved down to round up to 501. Apart from this list that are here, there are many. Only vultures that were dragged into those rocks. Women were dragged for raping that day. Come and see what happened. Look at the monument. Now can we say there was no genocide in those places? Children are here. There are two accounts of record. The one that I have here, the one that I have here, you can see their list and their ranks in wherever they are. Children were battered. Children, they are among those names. And I have it here, compiled by my father, Reverend Daniel Dung, my brother. We have seen here the name of children and adults. Look at it. Ungola Rababulus, adult. Sandra Beatrice, child. Gabriel Beatrice, child. Ngo Yisa Danjuma, adult. Ngo Laraba Danjuma, adult. Timothy Ezekiel Danjuma, child. Lydia, child. Obadiah, child. And somebody will come out and say there was no genocide. This God that we serve under this Muslim ticket, any Christian that will vote Muslim ticket, may God forgive him. May God show him mercy. He has received his number 666. I cancel my faith to Muslim ticket. Nigeria is for all of us. Nigeria is for both Muslim and Christian. Nigeria have been working on Muslim and Christian, Christian and Muslim. Why now? That is marginalization. That is genocide. In the world of the politics, the Islamic people have genocide us by killing the Christian, becoming a second man in Asura. And the so-called Christian don't know what is happening. And those kind that came out and said there's not the grave, the death of these people is screaming in heaven. 501 people are here. 501. They are right inside. 501. Please, and the Senate are coming. Show them this. My Senate are coming to meet their colleagues. Senate, just cruise. Take this and present it to them. Is it not genocide? 501 people. And they were able to stand for Hamas and say Israel is committing genocide. What real genocide is in us? Look at the names that are here, there. They are right here in the grave. Dogonahawa. By the power of Jesus, we are coming back for real documentary. And we have done it, and we continue to show the world. Since Remo Amokere has invited to fact banding, do you bring the American people to this place for fact finding? Did you bring them to this genocide ground? Remo Amokere, why didn't you bring them to Plateau to come and see this place? Are they not people? All are Christians. And you come out and tell me that there's also genocide. The even Muslim have been to shut down, to wash down that Christians have been killed. Muslims are also killed. By who? Is it we Christians that were killing the Muslims? No. That's not our portion in faith. We love the Muslims. We care for them. And we are ever ready to help them. But yet, they are banned to grab our lands. They are banned to take over our villages. They are banned to take over the state of Plateau State, Benue. They are banned to take over. They have taken over Nasarawa State. And they are banned to take this place. We will fight to finish it. We will defend our land to death. As Adesina said, why shall it want us to lose our life and land? It's better for us to lose our land so that we should remain. Adesina, you have never come across. The power of the cross will crush you. During Buhari, you were defending Islam. No problem. We will maintain our land. They removed Christopher because he was trying to bring justice And the justice was crushing the terrorists, the people insurgent that were brought from outside the nation. And they start shouting, oh, they are killing Muslims. Ana kashe Muslimi, ana kashe Muslim. Wala Tinubu kachire, Christopher Zegamada damu. You thought we don't know? They cripple him. He want to act. They will say it's a genocide. Ribardo is there as the advisor. Very wicked advisor. An evil advisor. He could not give advice to protect our land. But he's displaying religion agenda. God will fight for us when the time has come. And all Christians and all you, I urge you all over the world, if you don't pray for Christians in Nigeria, be ready to face the judgment.
Another thing I want you to ask yourself is, do we have gold and other mineral resources in Nigeria apart from oil that we have in Nigeria? What about all the mineral resources that we have, their deposit in the northern part of Nigeria? Who are the beneficiaries? Listen to what this young man is trying to tell us in this video. Then you will understand exactly why are these guys doing what they are doing. Listen to this.
To reports and discussions that have been making waves, it's been alleged that some illegal mining operations in states like Zamfara, Niger, and parts of Plateau are being controlled or influenced by foreign actors, and not just small-time players, but some powerful international interests. These illegal miners, in a bid to protect their operations, allegedly fund or collaborate with armed groups who secure these mining areas. Now, if you think about it, that's one of the key reasons why security forces have found it so hard to end the killings and kidnappings in some parts of northern Nigeria. Rufai Oseni, in his usual passionate way on Arise TV, called this out as economic sabotage, and even said that this issue shows how deeply Nigeria's resources have been exploited. He questioned why the government hasn't taken stronger action, asking why it seems like some of these mining companies are operating freely despite clear evidence of illegal activities. He said, and I quote, "We cannot keep crying about insecurity when the economic backbone of terrorism is being ignored." Now, that line hit differently, right?
In 1992-93 in Kaduna, a riot broke out which they call the Zango Kataf riot. I was a young boy, very, very young then, and people were killed in scores. If you are not an Afsa person practicing Muslim in Islam, they were killed. Especially if you are from the southern part of Kaduna, the tribes from the southern part of Kaduna, they were massacred. It was called the Zango Kataf riot. And if the next thing they do is to burn churches, kill Christians, and then if they are done with that, then they focus on businesses that is for Igbo people, Igbo-owned businesses, and they destroyed it. I grew up knowing that Christians are an endangered species in Nigeria. In the year 2000, when the Sharia riot, how many of you have heard of the Sharia riot? Hundreds of thousands of people were killed in Kaduna. I can remember vividly that we had to defend our house from people. They brought some Fulani boys and they faced our house. They were shooting arrows. They were stoning our zinc. They spot our zinc shooting arrows. Even though I was a Muslim then, even though my father was a Muslim then, but because majority of the people in our compound were Christians, so they were willing to destroy every one of us because we're living with Christians. I can remember a particular church in Mando, for those that know Mando, in Kaduna, called Chapel of Redemption. That church was destroyed. And so from that time, anytime there's a little hanky-panky in Nigeria, the first target is churches and Christians. And this has prevailed for a long time. That even if there's a problem with in another country, the Muslim and the Hausas in Nigeria will rise up and begin to kill Christians. How many of you remember the Miss World crisis in 2002, 2001, 2002? That somebody drew a picture of Muhammad or something in France, long away in France, and they began to fight in Nigeria. Are you following me? Christians are endangered species. Now let me give you, and that's how it has continued. Scores have been killed, and they focus on regions where there is a mixture of both Christianity and Islam. If you look at states like Kaduna, states like Plateau State, states like Nasarawa, states like Taraba, states like Benue, states like Bauchi, states like Gombe, states like Borno. These are places where they focus on because they intend to eliminate every living Christian in that place. Anybody that debunks it is a total lie, because I have grown and lived in the north. I've spent 80 to 80% of my life in the north, so I understand this thing. Several times, I cannot forget the Sharia riot. We were running for our lives. Even though we were Muslims, but we're still running, because as far as you are not of the ethnic group practicing what they practice, you are a victim. You can be burnt alive. Many of us saw human beings that were burnt alive, like roasted like yam. And it has been going on for a long time. The genocide against the Christian faith. Are you with me? Many years ago, in Kano State, a man was beheaded. And anything they talk about that he said blasphemy. And guess who was the person that led it? The man called Sanusi Lamido Sanusi was the one that led him up, and they beheaded him. They killed the woman. They killed him and they put his hand on the stake, and they were using it to parade the city. You will understand of a woman also that is an evangelist. Evangelist Eunice that was preaching about 2016 or 18 in Abuja. And they killed her. We cannot talk about a young girl called Deborah Samuel that was killed. I schooled in Jos, and for years, the people of Plateau have been massacred. Riot breaking out every single time. The one that the moment anything happens, the next people that are victims are Christians. And it is unfortunate that all these years the government have not been able to do anything about it. But the agenda is deep. Are you with me this morning? Why am I saying? Because I don't want us to be an ignorant people. If we are ignorant people, they will control the narrative. And these days, let me tell you this truth. God will not come and fight for you. Remove that. Are you with me? Now, in the year 2009, Boko Haram started. Boko Haram started because of a section. It was a political movement. They created Boko Haram as a political talks to bring confusion into the government of Goodluck Jonathan, and to be able to destroy any opposition, starting from Borno State, under the watch of a man called Kashim Shettima, which is now the vice president of Nigeria. Kashim Shettima and the other man, Ali Mohammed Sharif. These were the people that started the business of Boko Haram as a political talks to be able to oppose their opponents. But after a time, the ideology grew and they began to destroy. Now, it became a problem and they began to use it to destroy, bombing here and there. In 2009, 2010. As of 2010, a man led a meeting in Jos. Are you with me? He led a meeting that they were going to annihilate Christians within the locality of Plateau, Borno, Plateau, Bauchi, Kaduna, and Nasarawa. And he said they are going to perform jihad. They will bring jihad and they will go to kill them. If the Islamic leaders are not willing to lead them, he is ready to lead the movement. I have the minute of that meeting in my phone presently. Guess who is that person? Issa Pantami, that was the former minister of communication under Buhari's regime. And several times, these are people that are terrorist sympathizers. And that is why the Nigerian army has not been able to win the war against the terrorism. Because people have, the terrorists have infiltrated the Nigerian ranks, the army ranks, so they cannot win the war. That said, Osama bin Laden was a better Muslim than he is. He was sad when Osama bin Laden was killed. And he has said it several times that Boko Haram should not be killed. He said they are their Muslim brothers. How do you win a war against terrorism when there are people high in government that are sympathizers to terrorism? How do you win that war? Now, there are 4 categories of insecurity or people that are causing insecurity. Number 1, you have Boko Haram. Number 2, you have bandits. Number 3, you have Fulani herdsmen. Now I'm going to show you how they are connected. Many people don't know. The Boko Haram and the Fulani herdsmen have one mission. The mission is simple: Islamize Nigeria. Come to a territory that are Christian dominated, kill everybody there, occupy their land. Go to Benue, look for a community, kill them there, occupy their land. That is always me. Boko Haram and the Fulani herdsmen. Have you noticed that Fulani herdsmen they don't kidnap, they kill? There's hardly a place you hear that Fulani herdsmen capture that they say these are Fulani herdsmen. No, when they go, they kill. How do they kill? They kill with guns. You must now ask yourself, how does a Fulani man get AK-47? Do you know the cost of one AK-47? One AK-47 is over $1,000 something. Where will a Fulani man be able to obtain to be able to get one AK-47? Are you with me? And now, so you will know that there are people that are sponsoring this movement. Then the Boko Haram and the Fulani, they go about Christian-dominated areas. You will understand that when this terrorism started in Nigeria, that only people that were killed were Christian churches. You will not hear that they killed anyone. It is Christians and churches. I remember in Kaduna then, that churches began to look for security men to guide their churches in every service day. Otherwise, you can be in church and then the next thing is boom, everybody dies. And churches that don't have money to hire soldiers began to use some of their members. I was a member of the security team in my church in Deeper Life in Kaduna in 2010. Because we don't stay in the church. Once I come to the church in the morning, we stay outside, moving around patrolling, because anybody can come and drop anything. So when Boko Haram started, the majority of Muslims, the Hausa, Northern Muslims, the Hausa, they were happy. I know of people that were celebrating it. If you see them crying today, I'll tell you why. At the initial beginning of this thing, they were happy celebrating the killings of Christians. They said they are purging Nigeria of army. It was majorly on Christians and Christian-dominated areas. But when it comes to 2014, the man Buhari and APC that wanted to overthrow the government of Jonathan, by all means, decided to employ mercenaries from Niger, from Chad, from all those Fulani, from other African nations where they're Fulani, and they brought them into Nigeria. What was the goal? The goal was that if Jonathan does not concede defeat in the election, they were going to rain hell on Nigeria. So they brought in these mercenaries and they equipped them with rifles, the El-Rufais, the Buharis. Are you with me? The El-Rufais, the Buharis. Every one of these people called APC, they brought in mercenaries and armed them in the bushes and told them to wait. The moment Goodluck Jonathan did not concede defeat in the election, they were going to start. But unfortunately for them, Goodluck knew of the assignment. He got intel about it, and because the man said he said his ambition does not worth the blood of millions. So the man conceded defeat and left. And so they declared APC winner. Now, you have already brought people from different parts to come and fight. But what they wanted to come and fight for did not achieve anymore. So now they left those people in the bush. They left them with guns and ammunition in the bush. And when Buhari became the president, he abandoned them. Instead of them to settle them and let them go back, they abandoned them. And the people saw Nigeria as a place that is good. And the people decided to remain in Nigeria. Those are the people that started bandits. Before, we don't have anything like bandits. Banditry started under the watch of APC, under Buhari, because they were the ones that brought them in. Kidnapping, because they needed to survive. So they started by kidnapping. And they started by kidnapping. And they started by kidnapping. And they started by kidnapping. Over time, now, you understand that there are certain parts of this nation where there are mineral resources. Don't be an ignorant Christian. Follow me. Don't be an ignorant Christian. Don't be in a nation where you don't have understanding of what is happening. Now, there are some parts of Nigeria where there are good resources. And so, and this is have been illegally mined by elites, the military generals, the oligarchs, the people that are the leadership of the North. They were mining these resources, and the money does not go into the federal government account. So what they do is that they employ the services of this banditry to create two things. Number one, to create diversion. So when you go to Zamfara, that's why you hear that they say there is killing in Zamfara now. It's because of the Ilema gold mine. There is gold in Zamfara that they are mining. And so these bandits that are already in the bush, some people collaborate with them, partnered with them, and told them to keep creating confusion, create chaos. When you keep creating chaos, the Nigerian state and the people of Nigeria will not be able to focus on the illegal mining. They'll be concerned about the insecurity. So the insecurity is created as a means of diversion in the north. Are you following me? It is created as a means of diverting the attention of the military and the Nigerian populace from being able to focus on the illegal mining of resources. And any part of the north where there is resources, you find out that insecurity there. Recently, it has started in Kwara because there's a great amount of lithium in Kwara too that they have discovered and they're mining. So they partner with the Chinese because the people that do this illegal mining are the Chinese. They partner with the Chinese to be able to. So the bandits became the security men of Chinese and all those people to protect them. So that while they are mining, they can begin to cause chaos. Because while the people are mining and they are causing chaos, kidnapping, nobody will be able to focus on what the Chinese are doing and those people illegal mining. Every single day to this moment, I'm telling you, they are mining in those places. And they will take it to an airfield in the bush and fly it out of Nigeria. They are making billions of dollars from it every day while people are being killed. That is why you now hear that Muslims are saying that they are killing Muslims too. What you have, it is what Buhari created. The APC-led administration created. The banditry they created is what is affecting the North now. Because the people they brought to come and kill Nigeria in 2015 did not succeed because Goodluck relinquished power to them. And now the people have become thugs. They have become tools to be used in the hand of men that are using them to secure their illegal gold mines. And that's why you kill them too. That's why you hear that they say they are killing Muslims. Now, the Christian persecution and genocide has been there. So you find that the other part, the Muslim and the Fulani men keep going around killing in all those parts. And the Christians and the churches have been silent for too long. This evil has prevailed in Nigeria because the righteous men have been too quiet. If we're ever going to win against insecurity in Nigeria, Nigeria must put two things Nigeria must do. Number one, Sharia law must be completely abolished in Nigeria. Because Nigeria is not an Islamic state. Why will Nigeria, some part of Nigeria, be practicing Sharia? The law guiding them, constitutional law, that believe that if somebody deserves to die because he speaks against his God. Can a house Hausa man, he saw Jesus and I kill him for insulting Jesus. But somebody believe when you speak against Muhammad, you deserve to die. How do you live in a country with somebody that have that kind of mentality? The military have become complicit. They are compromised. Nigerian military cannot win this war. 20 years from today, I'm telling you, 20 years from today, this thing of insecurity will not end because there are people that are enjoying it, benefiting from it, and reaping from it. If Nigeria want to win this war, partner with America.
I want you to also answer, why is it that the Nigerian government is keeping quiet in the midst of all this? Why is it that DSS is not doing anything? Why is it that even the EFCC is not able to stand her ground, considering the free flow of foreign currency in the midst of this Boko Haram and other bandits? Why is it that EFCC is not doing anything? Is it true Nigerian army is not aware of what is going on? Is it true that they are not involved? Is it true that they are not accomplices of what is going on? No, these questions, we need to answer them correctly. Because going by what this young man is telling us in this video, you can see it beyond doubt. He is able to mention names. He has mentioned names of Nigerian leaders. Today is no longer who are the sponsors. The question is, why are they still walking the streets? If they were Christians, would they be still walking the street of Nigeria today? Then why are they still walking the streets, still sponsoring these guys? Why is it that government of Tinubu is not able to do anything? We need to answer this question. We need to answer this question. This thing has been going on many years before now. And now, Donald Trump, you are coming up to say that you are not pleased to watch the killing of Nigerians in northern Nigeria. Now listen to what the Bible says to you. I'm reading this so that you remember exactly who you are. In the past, God addressed Cyrus in the book of Isaiah chapter 45. And I want to read verse 13 because this is no longer to Cyrus. It is to you that God has raised you to sit on the throne of power in order for you to be a Messiah to Christianity all over the world. I'm reading verse 13. And it says, I have raised him up in righteousness, and I will direct all his ways. He shall build my city, and he shall let go my captives, not for price nor reward, says the Lord of hosts. I don't know what you are waiting for. I want everybody that watched this video to tag Donald Trump. Let this video get to him for him to remember. He promised to come into Nigeria to save Christianity. Christians are suffering. Christians are killed. Christians are men. I don't want you, sir, to keeping quiet, waiting to negotiate with Nigerian government. Please, whatever thing that you can do, please reach out to do it. God will stand by you. You are the Cyrus of our time. May God of heaven help you to do it and win in all that you are going to do. And you who is watching this video, please, I want you to comment. I want you to ask questions because there are so many questions that this video have raised that must be answered. God bless you. Thank you for watching.